So Lent is here, and when we hear the word Lent, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Maybe it is, what am I giving up this year? It could be as simple as chocolates, or perhaps social media. I know someone who would take a social media fast or abstinence during Lent, or the extra coffee in the afternoon. So many things, no? This is something many of us have done year after year. But today, Jesus is asking us to take a deeper look at this season. It's not just about what we give up. It is about why we give up. In the fast-paced environment of work, it's easy to get caught up in the to-do lists, deadlines, and busy schedules. But today, Jesus is calling us to pause and reflect on purpose. It is not enough to simply go through the motions of sacrifice without understanding why we are doing it. Jesus asks us to make room for something more meaningful, something that brings us closer to God and transforms us the inside out. When we give up something for Lent, we're not just creating empty space in our lives. We are making room for growth and purpose. Let's say you fast from snacks. Today, walang merienda, no? Dapat na. Just one full meal and 2 small meals. And no in-between meals. So, when you fast from snacks or junk food or fast food during your workday, in that space of hunger, you might begin to feel a little of what some of us in the world experience daily. Instead of mindlessly eating, maybe we can take the money we saved and donate it to charity that feeds the hungry. Or if we cut down on screen time and stop scrolling through our phones during our breaks, we can spend more time engaging in meaningful conversations with our colleagues, or even connecting with our families at home. When was the last time you intentionally took a moment to have a real conversation with someone around you, for instance? Whether at work or even at home. When was the last time you looked at the person you are with at home intently? So much so na pati yung kanilang pimples nun, nakikita mo na. When was the last time you look at the person when you are giving peace, no? When we are giving peace to each other at Mass? When was the last time you look at the person in the eye and said, "Peace be with you"? Or sige ka lang ng ganun-ganun. So how often do we find ourselves too busy to truly connect with those in our lives? Lent is also a time to consider giving up not just on things, but also attitudes and habits that can hold us back. How often do we complain about things at work, whether it's the workload, a difficult project, or even a coworker. Imagine if instead of complaining, we choose to approach challenges with a positive mindset, looking for solutions and supporting one another. What if we replace negativity with collaboration? In doing so, our work environment could become more productive, more supportive, and even more compassionate. Jesus spent his life showing us what it means to love and be compassionate. He reached out to those who were hurting, who were ignored or forgotten. He was generous, selfless, and always willing to help those in need. This Lent, we are invited to walk with Jesus in that same spirit. At work, this might mean offering help to a colleague who's struggling, or showing kindness to someone who might feel overlooked. It is in the small, everyday acts that we can make a difference. So as we journey through Lent, let us ask ourselves, how can we make our sacrifices count? How can we allow God's love to change us in the workplace? Lent is an opportunity for growth, for renewal, and for renewed purpose. We are called to be transformed in our hearts, to rend our hearts and not our garments. Not to rend, no? It's to open our hearts and not our garments. And to transform the spaces we occupy, whether in the office, at home, or in our communities. This Lent, let's make our sacrifices intentional. Let us be deliberate in creating space for more love, more kindness, more patience. Let's allow these actions to draw us closer to God so that His love can change our hearts. Let us walk with Jesus to the cross, and in doing so, with those around us who need love, support, and care. Finally, let not this Lent pass by without letting it truly transform us so that we can become the people God is calling us to be.
God is good all the time. Thank you for joining us today. View our past broadcasts on our Facebook page, St. Peter Community, and subscribe our YouTube channel. Like, share, and hit the bell.